Hi guys, I am coming to you with a series of tumbling basics. We're going to be working on things like our rolls, our handstands, our cartwheels, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be giving you tips, tricks, and drills to practice while you are at home in order to master those things. So we're going to be using things like the wall and the couch in order to do that. So make sure before you start doing handstands against the wall that you're asking permission to do those things. Another thing to keep in mind is that you have plenty of space. You do not want to kick over something or knock a hole in the wall or do anything crazy like that while you are trying to practice, so make sure you are keeping your space. Another thing to keep in mind is that you might want to get out a mat if you're lucky enough to have one, or some blankets or pillows or carpet, or you can go outside in the front lawn and do that, but make sure you're staying safe and smart about it. So without further ado, let's get started. I am so excited, you guys. In this video, we are going to be talking all about handstands. How to master your handstand, how to improve your handstand, and what the proper form is for that handstand. So jumping right into it, in order to start the perfect handstand, you are going to start in a lunge the same way that we start a cartwheel. You're going to have one foot in front of you, one foot behind you. Your front leg is slightly bent and your back leg is straight. Now, whatever leg you prefer is going to be front. If you are more dominant with your right leg, then that's the leg that's in front. Or if for you that's your left leg's in front, right? So whatever leg you feel more comfortable with, and probably whatever leg you do your cartwheel with. So for me, that's my right leg. So my right leg is in front here, as you can see. It's slightly bent, and my back leg is nice and straight. I'm going to start with my arms up, and this is the lunge, and this is how we are going to start our handstand. From here, when you do a handstand, as you kick up, you come down with the same foot. So like in a cartwheel, we switch feet, right? We start on our right foot and we land on our left foot, right? That's why one of the first drills that I talk about when doing cartwheels is that understanding how to transfer your weight from one foot to the other. Now in a handstand, we keep the same foot. So if I'm starting in my right lunge, I'm also going to finish in my right lunge. So as I kick up, I'm going to tap and put my right foot right back down. Do you understand that? So we're not switching our legs. This is not what I want. No, I want you to start in a nice solid lunge. As you kick up, you're going to tap and come back down. Clearly, these are not good examples of handstands right now. I want you to more so focus on the idea of coming down, or understanding rather, the concept that we're coming down with the same foot that we're kicking up. So we should start and finish in the same exact position, same exact lunge, facing the same exact way, right? For our handstand, the beginning and the end looks identical, right here. Okay, so now that we understand that we kick up and come back down for the same leg, we need to learn the idea of a handstand, right? So the way it should look is you should be straight up on top of yourself, right? You're not arching, you're not hunching. But before we jump right into that, I'm going to show you some preps that you can do against the wall in order to kind of build your arm muscle, in order to hold yourself up, because obviously you can't do a handstand if you aren't able to hold your body weight on your hands, right? So some drills against the wall look like this. So some things I really like to do with the younger girls who are just starting to learn the concept of like putting weight on their hands and doing a handstand is starting in this shape. Just being able to put your feet against the wall. It might even look like this, right? Just putting weight on your hands and being able to hold yourself up. I'll have them hold that for like 10 seconds or so, just working on building that arm strength. You can hold it as long as you want, right? And then once you have that and kind of have the arm strength to hold your body up, woohoo, then you can work on making more of like a, what shape is this? I don't know, like rectangle with the wall. And from there you can lift one leg up and back down, right? And balancing with one leg and then switching. Yeah? So you're practicing putting weight on your hands. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but what I was doing right here was not very good, right? I had my hands a little further out from my shoulders. Therefore, I was putting my weight in the palms of my hands, right? You want to spread that out evenly So in order to help that, you want to make sure your hands are right under your shoulders, not too much in front of you and not too far behind you. And if you start that habit now while you're against the wall, it's only going to help you when you move to the mat, right? So those two things are really good. Practice those until you have that arm strength and feel confident to work on your handstand further. Now that we've done those basic drills against the wall, we're going to talk a little bit more about how the handstand should look and how to improve it. So again, you should start in a lunge, like we just talked about not too long ago. Your arms are up. As you go down, your back foot here is going to come up and your hands are going to reach out. It's important not to put them right by your foot, because it is going to be hard for you to kick out, right? It's harder for me to kick out. So as your hands go down, you kind of want to stretch to what's natural. You're going to kick that second leg up and match it with the first. So again, engaging your core and really, I think stretching out really helps, because if your hands are too close to your feet, you're not going to be able to kick up properly, right? I know in gymnastics sometimes they'll teach you like that T motion. I'm not a big stickler on that, but the idea of that is that you're reaching here and then you're coming out, which kind of, again, forces you to reach out before reaching straight down. So again, we have our handstand here. We're starting in our lunge. So when you kick up into your handstand, another thing to note is your hands. I think I touched about it before in other videos, if you watch those, that when you stand on your feet, whether you realize it or not, your toes are helping you balance. They're responsible for a lot of the reason that you're standing. So when you're in your handstand, kind of use that knowledge to your advantage and use your fingertips, right? Dig your fingertips in the ground. Don't expect all of the weight to be in your palms and for you to balance. So kind of like grip the floor a little bit with your fingers. Also engaging your core is going to help. So when we're in our handstand, we want to be up at the very top, right? We're not arching too much, we're not hunching too much, we're nice and strong. So again, we're kicking up from our lunge, we're here, we're using our fingertips, we're pushing away from the floor. Another comment is our shoulders, right? We don't want to sink into the ground, right? Instead, you want to push away from the ground while also keeping your shoulders down. So hopefully that makes sense, but you don't want to sit in your handstand. So like, here's the difference. So right here, I'm sitting in my handstand. You see how my shoulders are kind of like down a little bit, right? You want to push away from the floor. That's going to help you balance better, right? Like if we were doing ballet, a lot of times I'll say things like you want to stretch up, 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 up. When you're balancing on your toes, you want to pull your body up so you have better balance. That's kind of like the same concept in your handstand. You're pushing away from the floor. You're stretching your body out and up, but in the opposite direction as you would in ballet, because that's going to help you balance and it's going to look better. So, again, you're using your fingertips, you're pushing away from your shoulders, you're engaging your core, all of those things. Besides that, it's just practice, practice, practice. Another thing, though, I'm going to show you against the wall, this is to help your form, right? So when you're doing the handstand against the wall, a lot of times you think, let me do it this way and put my feet against the wall. I don't like that. I like it better when your stomach is against the wall, because then it forces that better form and you're not training yourself to arch your back, because in your handstand, we don't want that like here, right? Because if I'm doing it against the wall and I'm putting my feet, then I'm training myself to have that terrible posture, right? That's not what I want. I want a nice, solid, straight back bend. So in order to do that, I think the best way to accomplish that is putting your stomach against the wall. Of course, if you want to like test your balance, you could go out and farther away from the wall, put your hands there and kind of like hold it and then like fall on the wall and kind of like test your balance just like you would. I don't know why I'm all about ballet today, but just like you would in ballet if you were on releve balancing, you know, you would sit there and you would touch the wall if you felt uncomfortable. So the same kind of concept for balancing in your handstand. So to get up against the wall, you can either cartwheel into it like this, right? Or you can do like the preparation of what we were doing a little bit ago, like here, and then just walk your hands to the wall. Yeah? So again, we like it stomach to the wall. That way we have a better shape, right? As you can see, because if my back is to the wall, I'm gonna naturally arch it. It's hard for me to like, even tucking it under, and now I'm putting my shoulders in the wrong spot, and it's just, I like it better with your stomach against the wall because it forces you to have that good posture of your handstand. Yeah? So one more time, we're gonna walk through our handstand. I think that is all my tips and tricks I have for you right now. So we're starting in a lunge with our dominant leg in front, making sure that lunge is nice and strong, right? If you're not starting strong, it's not gonna be strong. So starting nice and strong, we're reaching out, reaching up, engaging, coming back down with the same foot, and landing in our nice strong lunge. All right, one more time, starting strong, kicking up, reaching out, balancing, using those fingertips, and then coming back out. And then besides that, it's just practice, 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 so you get better and you can hold it longer, right? So good luck with your handstand and keep practicing. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown on how to master a handstand. And if you haven't already, check out my How to Master a Backbend video.